What is going on, everybody out there? Welcome to the IGN All-Star Community Podcast. This is episode 9 of the podcast. I'm one of your hosts, the epic Jake James Lugo, and with me I have my compatriot, Mr. Peter Lopez. Peter, my man, how have you been?
Hey, I've been good, man. Been hooked on Destiny, so I had to pry myself away from that for a minute.
Ooh, Destiny. That actually sounds pretty kind of fun right now. Well, I've been playing an undisclosed game, which I fortunately cannot talk about right now, so I can't discuss games, so the top secret level 7 shield stuff.
Awesome.
We'll get into all that jazz later, because we're going to talk a little bit about shields, later on in the podcast. But a couple of serious business things to attend to. We're getting a lot of serious business lately.
Mm-hmm. We have been.
But it's good business, really good business. It's best for business, we'll put it that way. So basically, to let you guys know here behind the curtain a little bit, we got a good solution for the time being for working for iTunes and getting the podcast on iTunes and the audio version of it, which is good. Which took a little bit of finesse and took a little bit of research and such, but we got something working. So now, going forward, you guys will be able to get not only your video version, but also the audio version of the IGN All-Star Community Podcast every week, which is great. A lot of people have been asking us about the audio version and such like that, so we're going to continue providing it for them. But, that being said, let's dive right into some of the news and such, what's hot on IGN. So, Peter, there's been some stuff coming out from Sony last day or two. So, Sony apparently is removing support for the YouTube app, the Maps, the YouTube map. I said map, didn't I? Oh my god. I meant YouTube app, the application of YouTube on PlayStation Vita, as well as Maps. The Maps app, say that 5 times fast, and PlayStation Near. So these are 3 apps. It's really 2 applications, but PlayStation Near is also getting removed too because it depends on a lot of different things of what Maps has. So you can't use YouTube now. You can't download it from the store, and if you still have it on your PlayStation Vita, you'll still be able to use it and access it. But don't expect to go on PlayStation Network now and be able to download the app. Same thing with Maps as well. That Maps and Near are actually going to be removed come I believe it's March, where they're going to release a firmware update prior to when the actual connectivity and the support for it's going to be gone in April. So I don't know. What do you think about this? Is it okay? Is it good? Is it eh?
I mean, well, I personally don't have a Vita, but it kind of sucks that they're stripping away YouTube. I mean, I know everybody has, You
can still access it through your browser though, which is fine.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like it's blocked by a big sorry, you cannot access this content type of thing. But you'll still be able to access YouTube via the browser as well as any other mobile device that you probably have besides your Vita. But what's significant to me is Near.
Well, isn't that like Street Pass?
It's like a light diet broken version of Street Pass, pretty much for the most part. It's just one of those things where it could have been as good, if not better, than Street Pass, but Sony just never went full fledged with it.
Then maybe it's for the best that they get rid of it then. I mean, I like I said, I don't have a Vita, so I really don't have an opinion too much on this piece, but if you're saying you can access YouTube via the browser, then that's all good.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, but here's the other good thing, though. We're getting Spotify support on PlayStation systems, and it's going to be called PlayStation Music.
Okay.
So you'll be able to, much like on the Xbox systems, to be able to play a game and play music in the background, which should have been in there a while ago, but we're getting it now.
That's basically like Pandora, Xbox Music, that kind of thing, but just for PlayStation.
Kinda, not exactly. I'm not sure, and I didn't really kind of get into too much of the details of it, but I would assume you'll be able to listen to internet radio, just a selection of songs while you're playing your games in the background.
Answer me this, how often do you use services like this? I
almost never.
I use Pandora all the time to listen to a wide variety of music and stuff like that, and I mean, I use it a lot. I use it on my phone. I use it on my computer. And the fact that it's going to be on a portable system, I think that's great because people are probably going to use it. But, I mean, you're saying you don't use it very often, or...
No, I hardly ever use it at all, period. I mean, even when I had an Xbox 360, I really wouldn't use that capability as much. And that, you were able to choose specific music you had on your hard drive, as well as, any other, portable device that you had connected to it. And that's fine. And that's cool for some people. I'm guessing, if you're playing some online multiplayer like Call of Duty or doing a run on Destiny or something, that's pretty cool. But for a gamer like me... Yeah, it doesn't, right? But, for a gamer like me, I get so immersed into what's going on in the game that I feel like a little bit sometimes the music can be a distraction, so I don't do that.
I gotcha. It does act as a distraction, like when you're playing multiplayer, or even when you're like, deep into a story. You want to listen to what they're saying. You don't want background music or anything like that. So
Definitely.
yeah, I guess that's cool.
It's alright, but the main thing for me, PlayStation Near is getting removed from PlayStation Vita, and I think it's about time, like you said. I wrote a whole editorial about this. I was basically saying good riddance to PlayStation Near because nobody ever used it. PlayStation, I'll say it again, and I said it in my editorial. The only type of interaction that a lot of players have used or had with PlayStation Near since 2012 was to put that application in a folder of never used applications.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty much it. You never, ever hear about anybody talking about Near or talking about even other PlayStation Vita owners within a vicinity. I think that could have been like a thing for them. Very similar to Street Pass, but I think the kind of one-up with Street Pass outside of the support that both companies had for their own, for their own applications, was that Near needed a Wi-Fi connection. Street Pass never did. Street Pass only had that little kind of like ad hoc type of thing where it would detect other systems, but you needed to be connected to Wi-Fi in order to use PlayStation Near, and I think it also had something to do with the 3G models of the Vita, but it just didn't work. It wasn't ideal for a portable handheld or portable device.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Near an application that cannot be deleted manually?
Yes, I believe so. I never tried to delete it. I just moved it to another folder on my own PlayStation Vita.
Like everybody else, yeah.
Yeah, like everybody else. But the one thing that I think that it was good for was obviously besides telling other people that had PlayStation Network accounts around you, because it didn't just detect Vitas. It detected PlayStation 3s, and I would assume PlayStation 4s. Anybody had a PSN name. But also, the cool, neat thing, kind of like Street Pass, was that it allowed you to gain different game data, or like gifts, quote-unquote, for different games that you might be able to use. The only problem is it would give you stuff for games you didn't own, which was weird to me. Anyway,
it sounds like it was trying to go for something like, it's an application that lets you communicate with other Sony platforms, but just kind of dropped the ball like midway through and just kind of gave up.
Yeah, they just kind of left it out there to die, pretty much, and it was just like, okay. Yeah, it's really dumb. It's kind of sad, but hey, good riddance. It's no effect on my gaming experience whatsoever. But speaking of game experiences, we're gonna get a brand new one from the guys over at Wonderverse, more specifically, the guys over at Lego. You like Legos, Pete?
I love the Lego video games.
Oh yeah, I love Legos in general. I grew up with Legos. Legos are sweet. But we're getting Lego Jurassic World, which is Lego Jurassic Park, which is awesome. And here's the thing: everybody said this at the end of Lego Batman 3. They had that little Easter egg with the Tyrannosaurus Rex roaring and the music playing in the background. We're like, okay, that makes sense because Jurassic World is coming out not too soon. I mean, and then I want to say I think it's this year, if I'm not mistaken, this summer. Very, very soon. And the cool part about this is that it's not just going to be just about that movie. It's actually going to be based on all 4 movies. Jurassic Park, The Lost Worlds, Jurassic Park 3, and Jurassic World, which is awesome.
And that's something that, the Lego series is familiar with doing, right? Like the Star Wars video games, you have episodes 1 through 3, and then you have the prequels. So it's not just like one Lego game, one episode, and that's it. They throw everything in the mix, and that's great. They did
it with Indiana Jones.
Yeah, exactly. It did it with Indiana Jones, even with what was
it? Was the original? The original Avengers? Yeah, it was like Lego Indiana Jones 1 and 2, I believe it was.
And then they threw in the Crystal Skull. Also,
yeah,
it was a newer one. But back to what I was saying, I like the idea that this Jurassic World video game is going to have all of them, because my favorite movie out of all the Jurassic Park films was the first one. So
yeah, me too.
Great to play that, and
you are not alone on that one. Everybody loves Jurassic Park. But that was a dinosaur movie if there ever was one. Right, like seriously. But this is cool because I love playing the Lego games. I think they're very chill games and they're good to mellow out on and such. I think this is another good franchise for them to kind of pull from and like really kind of parody it. Like always, like even in the Star Wars games, even before they started adding dialogue in Lego Batman 2, they really had a really fun time, like poking fun at some of the bigger, moments in those movies, in the Star Wars movies, while still maintaining the essence of what made it so good and like really paying homage to the franchise.
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, do you like the dialogue with the video games or not? Because for me, I actually do not like them. So I
really,
I feel like it kind of takes away from the comedic aspect of the video game. So in like Star Wars and even Indiana Jones, you know, they would hold up pictures to kind of show what they were talking about or make funny faces. When in these newer Lego games, I think like guys like Troy, I think Troy Baker's in one of them.
Yeah.
You know, he'll talk and then he'll say the joke rather than interpret it through like, you know, body language. And I feel that kind of takes away a little bit from the humor. So I feel like Jurassic World will need it, but I kind of want them to do without it.
I'll tell you one thing. I don't want the dinosaurs to talk. Let's not get too crazy right now. But I will say,
I don't know if they are.
that would suck so bad, man. I mean, at first, and on paper, it sounds funny, but like I'm pretty sure in execution it'd be terrible. But I think where they really got dialogue right in those Lego games was Lego Batman 2. I think like that was their first time coming out and actually doing that, and it was very tongue-in-cheek, as you would expect. You know, it's a much more kid-friendly, much more family-oriented demographic like that. And even before then, when they started adding like more dialogue stuff to like the Star Wars games, I think they had dialogue in Lego Star Wars 3, and it was kind of terrible. Just as a game, as a package, Lego Star Wars 1 and 2, and even the complete trilogy, which is basically 1 and 2 put together, those games were good, and you know they didn't have any dialogue whatsoever. But the more recent Lego games, even the Marvel games, they kind of get a lot of flack over that. And I think it comes down more to the writing. I just don't think the jokes are as kind of like snappy and kind of as funny and tongue-in-cheek as they should be. I think they're more dull. Hopefully, you know, going forward with this one, they can kind of pull up some like really good moments of really good humor from the more kind of like serious undertones of those films. Which leads me into another thing. Lego Marvel Avengers. I mean, what do you think of that?
I think that's cool. I mean, I like it. Man, it's been a long time since I played a Lego game, and I would love to play Lego Marvel Avengers.
Lego Marvel. They say it's pretty much Lego Avengers, but they're saying Lego Marvel Avengers, which I'm guessing, you know, not only to establish obviously it's Marvel's Avengers, but also keep in mind to separate it from Lego Marvel, which Lego Marvel superheroes.
Why not just call it Lego Avengers?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it does. It kind of just makes sense to me, obviously, because it's a Marvel branded thing, and there's also a British TV show / franchise called The Avengers. So I would assume it's got something to do with that. But I would have rather just taken Lego Marvel Universe or something like that, which encompass all the Lego. All the Marvel Universe, like a bunch of different characters.
Why not just do like a Lego Universe? Like, didn't they do that or no?
No, there was talk about a Lego City type of thing where it drew from a bunch of other stuff, and I'm pretty sure that's what the Lego Movie video game was. You know, to be honest with you, but obviously that's got to be a licensing nightmare to implement like stuff from DC, Marvel, now Jurassic Park, Star Wars, all kinds of stuff.
I mean, like, what other films or what other franchise do you think they can extract from to kind of?
You could go anywhere with Lego. That's the fun part. You could go anywhere.
Like, I want to see like Lego Voltron or Gundam, like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like any of those like, you know, mecha type of stuff. Lego Pacific Rim. Imagine that. I think it'd be kind of cool. Like, I mean, with this one, Lego Marvel Avengers, it's gonna pull from Avengers 1 and 2, which is the Marvel Cinematic Movies, basically. I mean, they can't obviously go into Lego whatever Avengers Infinity Wars because that movie hasn't been made, and I'm pretty sure they'll come up with some sort of original take on some stuff here and there besides pulling from the movies, you know, or give us little hints. And I wouldn't put it past Marvel to do that. But just as, you know, in general, Lego, you could go anywhere with Lego.
Do you pick a movie, like off the top of your head? Like,
oh man, what kind of movie? If you really want to have fun with it, do like Lego Godfather, like make it in the style of Lego City Undercover, but like have it set in like that 1920s, 30s, like, you know, 40s universe. That'd be so funny.
You should pitch it to them. You could probably get some money out of it.
Hey, they got 3 movies to pull from. I would put, or Lego Blade Runner.
Oh man, that'd be cool.
I mean, they got stuff like Lego Indiana Jones. We got Lego Star Wars. We're getting Lego Jurassic Park.
Right. Yeah.
You could literally go anywhere with Lego. That's the most fun thing about it. They can never limit themselves to just one type of thing.
I mean, I remember joking around with my wife years ago, like, oh, wouldn't that be cool, like, if they made a Lego Lord of the Rings, and we were...
And they did!
Yeah, we were chatting back and forth, and we were like, no, it's never going to happen, that's never going to happen. You know, that's BS, but, you know...
You know what, I mean, look at it this way also, we got Lego Harry Potter, why not stop there and go Lego Hunger Games, or Lego the Chronicles of Narnia? I'm surprised that wasn't made.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
That'd be very cool. I mean, that'd be awesome. But
listeners, let us know what you guys would like turned into a Lego game. That'd be really interesting to see what the audience comes up with on that one.
Oh yeah, you could send us an email at allstarpod@hotmail.com or send us a tweet at allstarpod on Twitter. Let us know what kind of Lego games you actually want to see. Give us some good ones too. Make us some funny and interesting ones. Hopefully we could be responsible for getting a game made. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That'd be hilarious. But let's talk about Nintendo again.
Oh man.
I mean, we've been talking about Nintendo a lot. They've been causing quite some stir. So I think they've been putting smiles on people's faces, and they've been making people mad. I don't know what's going on over there with Reggie and Miyamoto. They've been scheming. So here's a new thing. We have this Nintendo Creators Program. Now, kind of give us the skinny on this a little bit.
Basically, what's going down is Nintendo opened up a beta program for YouTube channel enthusiasts, creators, whatever you want to call them. Basically, any kind of video, well, actually, it's not any kind. According to IGN and other sites, there's a specific list that these YouTubers have to kind of follow in regards to titles. If they want to stream, they'll actually get ad revenue for doing that if they pick those selected titles. So it's not every titles, and me and you, JJ, were looking at this list before we started recording, and titles like Earthbound and Super Smash 3DS,
which is huge, a huge thing to me. And this is how I read into this, though, is that obviously Nintendo is notorious for having a lot of control and a tight grip on a lot of their IP and their content, and some of the stuff that they put out there, their creative properties and such. But even though people have voiced their opinions about them being too much on and not really understanding the whole online streaming community, the Let's Players and such like that, this only seems like they're throwing somewhat of a bone to people while still maintaining that tight grip on everything. Because as far as I know, a ton of people make Smash Brothers videos. A ton of people stream that game, as well as other games that aren't mentioned on this list. And I'm like, okay, well, then what happens to those guys that do actually put those games out there? Why not just be a little bit much more lax in the sense of giving everybody a little more breathing room to stream their Nintendo games that they want? People want to show that type of content, want to show their enthusiasm for Nintendo.
Then again, though, if they're making YouTube videos, then I would think they're making them just to make them, just to have fun. And if they wanted to make money off them, then they would have to go off of this list, or be more kind of dig a little deeper and see how you could do that. But basically, people who follow this list will actually get 60% ad revenue on each video if it goes off of that list. And that's someone who just talks about video games. It can be any console, really. But people who have dedicated Nintendo channels that stream Nintendo video games based off this list will actually get a 10% increase off of that, so 70% ad revenue basically. But it's going to get paid through PayPal 2 months after the video airs.
Which usually, from my understanding, because I've had in the past where I've kind of had to learn a little bit about ad revenue stuff like Google AdSense and stuff for people that are partners on YouTube and such, where usually it happens about a month afterwards. And 2 months I think is a little bit stretching it. I think all the news about this, I think it's still very rocky. And I can really foresee a little bit of a backlash and a kind of a dissatisfaction with this, because everybody's been wanting to show their enthusiasm for Nintendo. They want to stream these games. They want to get word out about these games, and most of the time positive and such. But I really think it's just that Nintendo just keeps tripping over their foot on this matter, and they're really not giving anybody any reason to really kind of be on their side in this matter.
Yeah, it's kind of I feel like Nintendo is basically saying, well, at least you'll get paid, but it'll be in 2 months.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I don't get too, which, let me bring that back. I get it, but I'm not fully really understanding or comfortable with it, where if it's a dedicated exclusive Nintendo content type of channel where they're just talking about Nintendo games and such like that, what about all these other channels that talk about everything but still say such great things and do a lot of Nintendo content? I feel like it's going to get very ambiguous, and people are still going to be very boisterous in their dissatisfaction about it.
Yeah, I don't know. If you're a YouTuber and you do videos and you stream Let's Plays and you're listening to this podcast, let us know how you feel, because I can put in my 2 cents as much as I want, but I feel personally I'm out of the YouTube spectrum in regards to video streaming and Let's Play videos and stuff like that. I'd love to get into them, but I kind of want to hear what these individuals are thinking on this kind of thing, because I feel like Nintendo is really just crowd controlling.
Like they always have. They've always done that. It's just that now I think things are changing, very heavily. There's a different type of thing, and there goes my dog. Oh my god. my dog's got a problem with Nintendo. My dog's got a real problem with Nintendo. Yeah. But the thing that I don't understand, okay, what I'm saying is that I really think that the environment is really changing like heavily now, and that Nintendo really has to kind of change up their mentality and change up their approach. And I remember back during PAX South not too long ago, Angry Joe, who's like one of the bigger YouTube guys that play games and such like that, actually was talking to a Nintendo rep out there, and the Nintendo rep guy, at least the person that he was talking to, which personally I think it was just a PR guy, just giving us a PR talk, basically saying that there's a disconnect between Nintendo of America and Nintendo of Japan, because Nintendo of Japan doesn't necessarily seem to really understand or really kind of get the whole streaming and online community scene as much as America does. Nintendo of America does.
So NOA is more relaxed than
Well, it's not that they're relaxed, but they want to use it to their advantage. They understand that they see what the people and the type that the audience or the consumers are doing, and they actually think that it's a great thing. But Nintendo of Japan, according to that person, doesn't see it that way at all.
I mean, I guess it's cool. I mean, like you were saying, it's like a roller coaster with Nintendo this week, and they're coming out with this, and now they're at least trying to pay YouTubers for their content. But 2 months is a long time.
Yeah,
people gotta eat, dude.
People, and here's the thing: a lot of people that stream stuff, like even when we were talking with Geo HMK last episode, some people depend on this as their livelihood. They do this for a living. Now, imagine doing something for a living, and then you have to wait 2 months before you get your paycheck.
Well, it's like freelancing, I mean.
Well, yeah, it's like freelance, but like when you're doing it full time, like all the time, like that, and you have all this stuff, again, think about it. Think about going to your job and waiting 2 months to get your paycheck. Like that's a very scary thing.
That sucks. I mean, are you? Let's say hypothetically you actually do videos on YouTube, JJ. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I do, but I'm not like
guys at YouTube. Yes,
true. But I'm not like in that sense like what Angry Joe does, where he's doing videos as his livelihood all the time.
Like you are though, right? Is this 60% ad revenue? Does that mean anything to you? Like if you were one of them?
I think it's all dependent on the content. I think it really depends on the type of channel, the type of content that they put out there. If you're someone that's just Nintendo content, I think they would take care of you a little bit better for each video and obviously for your channel and such like that, because again, you're using their content. They feel like maybe they could control you a little bit or kind of cater to you a little bit since you're enthusiastic about Nintendo stuff. But the way I look at it is that look at the channels that are talking about the industry, talking about not just Nintendo but Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and third parties and such like that. But they're obviously not going to cater specifically to Nintendo, and I'm pretty sure those are going to be the people that are just the ones that give them such the whited out and the pretty opinion about them. Those are the ones that are going to give them whatever opinion they're going to have.
Right.
And I'm kind of like, I feel a little bit bad because if that's the case, then this almost not fully, but almost doesn't really do anything to change up what was before.
Yeah, man, it's crazy business. I'm starting to like kind of see it all, that it's all turning into a business.
It's all very murky, and it's going to get even murkier. And I think hopefully over time, there's much more of a better discussion about it.
Right.
To be honest with you. But let's get into our main topic today. I mentioned it before. I mentioned Shields. I've been actually watching Agents of Shield on Netflix.
How is that? I've never.
Something. I gotta watch more. I've watched almost half to a little bit of 3/4 of season 1, and like there's a lot of connections to the Marvel universe here and there. Like obviously they're not obviously gonna have a lot of the big movie stars from the movies on there for obvious reasons, but it has something. But I don't know. It doesn't do it for me like how like some of their movies do, or like some of the other shows, like what Arrow and the Flash do for me. I don't get that same thing from Agents of Shield.
Right.
I don't know. There's some spark missing there, but I digress. Let's talk about these modern superhero movies. The movies specifically. I mean, if you want to get into the TV stuff, I don't mind. But the reason why I bring them up, as a big deal, because there's been new trailers shown out, and there's new talk going around. We just got the new Fantastic Four reboot trailer. I don't know. Did you get to see the trailer?
Not a Fantastic Four fan. I'm probably gonna get hate mail now, but I mean, I'm not too big on superhero movies, so I'll let you take the reins on this one.
Okay, send all your hate mail to allstarpod@outmail.com. Some people was like, "Hey man, can't be hating on superhero movies." Well, I feel you. I think that's I think it's a valid thing, as far as the superhero movies. I think that some of the better superhero movies out there are the ones that don't come off as superhero movies. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, The Dark Knight. That was a big deal. It's a very good movie.
I would say that's a superhero movie.
Well, it's a superhero movie, obviously, but like the way that it was critically acclaimed, besides the whole controversy surrounding it, was that was more of a detective movie that just happened to star Batman.
Oh, it still got Batman in it.
Yeah, it still got Batman in it, so it's still a superhero movie. But let's move on to this newer stuff, though. The new Fantastic Four trailer. My impressions, because I saw the trailer like about 7-8 times already.
Wow.
Like scanning it, looking at it, seeing all the stuff in it.
Breaking it.
Breaking it down. Putting it back together, breaking it down again, and such. But my issue is that this was not a good trailer for me. And I've talked to numerous people about it, and they love it. Some of those people are like really like they're down for it. I'm not. And the reason why is because I look at this trailer and I was already skeptical about the movie with all the news surrounding it and such. Mm-hmm. Especially with the casting, especially with the story that like some of the little things leaking out here and there. Their approach again, which is still 20th Century Fox, still owns the movie rights to Fantastic Four, which I think is a big no-no for me personally. A lot of these movies a lot of these movie franchises, I believe, should revert back to Marvel because the quality of the past movies have been ultimately terrible. Especially that last Fantastic Four movie. Did you get to see Rise of the Silver Surfer?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, well, thank God you didn't because it was so bad. No, it literally was. It was really, really terrible. Great CG, terrible setup and story.
I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I mean, I did see like a screen, and I guess they're different actors this time around. Right?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, so
there's a whole new cast, whole new reboot. Nothing to do with the last movies.
I was gonna say. So this is like a complete reboot of the franchise, or I guess you can call it a franchise or series.
Yeah, it's always a franchise. Yeah. Obviously.
So I mean, do you think it's going to be any better then? I mean, I would assume you've watched the previous Fantastic Four movies. So kind of going off of that, how did you like the actors in regards to portraying the character? And I mean, would you do it? Would you recommend them for like another?
Here's the thing. The last two Fantastic Four movies were and the last one was terrible.
Well, so
the second one being the worst.
Like the best one then?
The first one was the better one, but it wasn't saying. That's not saying much. Like they were not that great. I think that they had Jessica Alba as the Invisible Woman. They had the guy from The Shield as Ben Grimm. Right. They had Captain America as the Human Torch. Mm-hmm. Pretty much the actor that plays Captain America, Chris Evans. Right. But the reason why I'm so down about this because I look at this trailer and obviously I know that they weren't going to show much, but a trailer is supposed to get me intrigued to see this movie, to get me excited. If you want an example of a great trailer that came out this year or last year, technically, Star Wars Episode 7. Yeah. Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens. Mm-hmm. That trailer told you nothing. Basically, told you absolutely nothing. All did it show you some stuff which really you have no context for, and outside, forgetting about the fact that it's Star Wars and we're all pumped up for Star Wars.
Heck yeah.
But you look at that trailer, and what it does is it intrigues you. It's like, okay, what's going on? And they show you different stuff you have no context for, but it makes you excited, and it really gives you that solid moment at the end of it that gets you excited. It's like, oh, okay, so this is going to be a cool movie. Mm-hmm. Right? It plays a little bit on your nostalgia for Star Wars, but for the most part, it's more of its own thing, and it does what a teaser trailer is supposed to do.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, unfortunately for me, didn't do that at all. Like, I see stuff, and I see different things and little aspects here and there. It really doesn't show you much of the main cast with their powers. Mm-hmm. It sets up a little bit of stuff, and they're very cryptic and a lot of things, much like how Star Wars were, but this one was a little bit much more so, and really just kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. I mean, I like superhero movies. I like the Fantastic Four. I read a lot of their comics, in the past, and none of this really got me excited at all. Like, I know the person, again, in the trailer, like, there's this monologue going on, there's a conversation going on, and I believe one of the characters is the main villain, being Doctor Doom, but obviously, you don't see him in the trailer. I think they're going to hype that up for another trailer or when the movie comes out. Mm-hmm. But the trailer itself, just very cryptic. It doesn't show me anything to get me excited. It doesn't tell me or give me reason to be intrigued by it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wasn't compelled to click the trailer. Like, it was blowing up all over the internet, but
oh yeah, definitely.
I just wasn't that intrigued to watch it. I guess I could.
I mean, eventually, when you get time, definitely check it out. And listeners out there, definitely check it out, such. But to relate it back to modern superhero movies and such like that, have you seen any of the Marvel movies, the DC movies that have been coming out lately?
Well, I mean, okay, so I've seen the newest Batman films. I've seen the Spider-Man, I think, trilogy with
Tobey Maguire.
There you go. Yeah, I've seen that, and then I kind of fell off that horse. Like, I wanted to watch Galaxy of the Guardians.
Galaxy of the Guardians, my God. You mean Guardians of the Galaxy?
Make fun of me. Send me a tweet and make fun of me.
Here comes the hate squad.
Yeah. See, I told you, I don't really watch too many. God, I feel like one of those people who ask if Donkey Kong.
You got homework tonight. I'm telling you right now. You got straight up homework tonight. Oh man.
Yeah. So, anyways, I've watched some of the older films. Never really got into the new ones. I feel like the newer movies are too CG. There's too much going on. Going back to the 1980s. Batman. That didn't have all that new stuff that the new movies have now, and I feel like that was probably the best superhero film. My best superhero film.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like there's too much going on now in movies. Too many explosions. I mean, yeah, they kick ass and it caters to a specific audience, but
yeah, true. I mean,
I don't know. I guess I'm just too damn old.
No, I don't know if you're that old. So I understand where you're coming from. Totally. I mean, I think that once you dive into more of the movies and such, maybe it'll start to rub on you a little bit. Like for me, I don't mind the CG. I don't mind the explosions. I think when it's handled correctly and tastefully, it's done well. The perfect example is whenever you get time, as you see more of the Marvel movies, watch Guardians of the Galaxy and look at obviously the character of Rocket Raccoon is an all CG character, or Groot, the big tree. He's all CG and stuff. But the way that it's handled, the way that it's done, and obviously the way that it looks makes it all come together so nicely. It's okay, I become immersed in that. That becomes part of. So I don't look at it as a CG character. I look at it as just Rocket Raccoon, who's just a character, which I think is the best thing. We were talking about Jurassic Park earlier. That CG was done in 94, 95, give or take, and that's still to this day some of the best CG ever used on film.
Oh yeah,
like that, where it was so seamlessly integrated into what was going on the screen. It was really well done. It didn't look out of place. There are movies that do have this, and I think some of the later Spider-Man films, even Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, had that same problem. And the Fantastic Four movies definitely did, that were done by Fox, and even the X-Men movies. I'll even go that far. You could name a bunch of movies that have that problem. I really feel, though, obviously the ones that are still king of the hill now are Marvel Studios, when they're done internally in-house, which is Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, the Avengers, and then Guardians of the Galaxy. All those movies that are part of that Marvel Cinematic Universe, I feel they've been getting it right, especially with the storytelling, with the writing specifically. I think the movies, because outside of them connecting to each other for a much bigger, grander scheme, like that, if you watch each individual movie, with maybe a few exceptions here and there, like Iron Man 2 and a little bit of Iron Man 3, but they really kind of hit the nail on the head when it comes to good storytelling. One of the best movies last year that was even talked about was Captain America: Winter Soldier. Those are some good movies, and I think they were fun to watch, and everything is cool. Now, moving forward, obviously, I think they're going to get better. But also, I think that the superhero genre of films are really kind of spotlighting a lot of different actors and putting them into other roles. Here's some news that's been coming up, and I want to get your opinion on this, Pete. Chris Pratt, who plays Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy, but prior to
Galaxy of the Guardians.
Yeah, Galaxy of the Guardians, the unannounced sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy. But he's been brought up now in the conversation to help reboot Indiana Jones, because Disney obviously is going to release a new Indiana Jones movie, and obviously Harrison Ford might be too old, or he might be too much on Star Wars duty to play Indiana Jones. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone obviously takes over the role for him. How would you feel I don't know if you know Chris Pratt that well, but someone like him taking over Indiana Jones.
I don't know. I mean, I'm all for a Indiana Jones reboot. I can tell you that. Like the last Indiana Jones movie, The Crystal Skull, was just garbage.
That was garbage. The refrigerators, and the atomic nuclear blast.
I hope no one tried to do that after watching that film.
Oh man, that'd be hilarious.
I don't know. I mean, I'm for it. I love Indiana Jones. I love the movies growing up, and like I said, I hated the new one. So I really want this. I want the saga to come back.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the interesting part, though, is that because he did Guardians of the Galaxy, and it's super popular. It's a big, multi-million-dollar movie. Puts him in the spotlight as this character, part of this cinematic universe. Now he's getting opened up to these other roles, or being in talks for these other roles. It's been happening for a lot of other actors as well, like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, all these dudes, and even what is it? The girl that played Black Widow from Avengers. Oh my God. Oh, I can't believe I blacked out. I'm gonna look like a noob. But she was in she was in the movie Lucy. All these different actors, being put in the spotlight in these other films and such because of being part of these superhero films. Like, do you think that's a big deal? That's interesting.
I mean, it's just like going back to, you said, the Fantastic Four. The guy who played
Chris Evans.
Yeah, the Jesus Christ.
Human Torch? Yeah. Man, you got homework to do.
I'm off today. I'm sorry. Yeah, so the guy who played the Human Torch played Captain America. It's just kind of going back to that. So, like I said, I'm for it. I want to see a new Indiana Jones movie, but it better be damn good.
Yeah, it better be damn good.
If not, it's just going to drive into the ground, right? Like, this is them trying to redeem themselves from the last crappy movie, and hopefully it's great.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, but like I said, I find it interesting that a lot of these actors, a lot of these superhero movies are now pushing front and center and forward for the movie industry. They're putting all these different actors in the forefront, in the spotlight.
Well, I mean, do you think they should just go and search for someone who's not famous? Like, I feel maybe that would be more impactful if they did do that, right?
And they have in the past. The best example back in the 1970s, Superman. Superman, the one person who took on the main role and such like that, Christopher Reeve. Right. He was an unknown at the time, and then all of a sudden now he's probably in one of the most iconic roles in the superhero film genre, like that. And you could even argue the same thing with Michael Keaton. You could say the same thing about Christian Bale now being Batman. That's a big deal. That's like really, a really true, interesting story, leading up to that, which again leads them up to all this prestige and such. Now, I think that Marvel, again, having a handling on their storytelling and the way that they make their movies is really interesting. Look at Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is getting his own solo movie, and he's going to be played by Benedict Cumberbatch, who not too long ago was Khan in Star Trek Into Darkness, which is interesting. And Benedict Cumberbatch, I just saw him in a movie, The Imitation Game, and he's really good. Like, he's really good as an actor. And it's just very cool to see see that play out and such like that. I think they the casting and pulling up all this different talent from all over the place, really, really well done.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, you got homework to do. You got to watch the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, starting with Iron Man all the way through. That's your homework for the next week till episode 10.
Listeners, send me an email or a personal tweet and let me know what are the 5 Marvel or superhero movies that I need to watch, because I obviously don't watch them. I suppose I can get into them, but let me know what you guys want me to watch, and I'll follow up on that in the next episode.
I got 3 recommendations right now for you. Okay, watch obviously the Avengers.
Okay.
Or even 4, technically. You should watch the first Iron Man movie, which I think is the best Iron Man movie, period. The Avengers, Marvel's The Avengers, Captain America Winter Soldier, and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
There you go. Watch those 4 movies starting tonight. I'm telling you, they're that good. In that order, they're awesome.
All right.
But, with that being said, Peter, it's about that time.
It's about that time.
It's about time for the IGN Community Spotlight. So tell me, who is this week's Community Spotlight?
So this week's Community Spotlight is Epps, and basically he is going to school for software engineering. Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Outside of Azure. how do you say that? Ashrons or something called. He
oh man!
And he even got a motorcycle with money he made playing AC.
AC Assassin's Creed.
So definitely drop by his my IGN page and hit him up. Like I said, his name is Epps, but he recently wrote a blog post saying a few of how do you say that, JJ?
I'll read it right now. Gonna get it linguistics. Semlishers?
Yeah.
Semishers? Oh, man. Talk about pronunciation today, boy.
But basically his favorite IGN staff members, and you can definitely check it out. I know he's got Damon Hatfield on there. He's got Per Schneider.
Jose Otero and Brian Altano. Mr. Brett.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, who's your favorite IGN staff?
Well, some of my favorite IGN staffers are no longer there now. But if I had it, like, my top 5 dudes or peeps over there at IGN, obviously Greg Miller, obviously Colin Moriarty. That they're over there, kind of funny. Jose's cool. I met Jose at E3, which was awesome. I met Brian Altano. That was pretty cool too. And even Mr. Andrew Goldfarb over there at doing some stuff for Borderlands. Awesome. Right now. It's pretty awesome.
I guess for me, the one who makes my number one list is Per Schneider. I've chat with him before via email and even through tweets, and he just seems like a really chill person, really relaxed guy. I would like to meet him in person. Runner up is Jose Otero, and the third is Colin Moriarty. He was the guy who actually made me crack open a dictionary and look up a word. And that was
really?
Amalgamation. I've never heard that word in my life.
You've never heard of the word amalgamation?
That word or event.
Man, you got to be reading comics, B. We got to get you reading comiks.
And, I cracked it open. I'm like, okay. So I just thought he sounds very charismatic, and that's why.
He's very fun. I'll tell you that.
That's my number 3.
Nice, very, very nice. But yeah, there you go. EPS or EPS.
Yeah.
What is it? ERPs per second or everything per second. You're this week's Community Spotlight, so congratulations.
Congratulations. And in case you guys want to be Community Spotlight members of the week, all you have to do is blog, watch videos, communicate, and send your submissions to submissions@ign.com, and definitely do that so you can be on the show.
Definitely. So, with that being said, we got some listener feedback, listener questions, listener comments ever since episode 8. But we actually got one from email here at allstarpod@hotmail.com, just like you guys can, from Matt, Mr. Matthew Sigler, one of the All-Stars. Matt comes on and goes, what are your thoughts on the Fantastic Four film's adaptation of Doctor Doom? Now, we talked about Fantastic Four not too long ago, and they didn't show Doctor Doom. Well, let me rephrase that. They kind of alluded to him, and apparently in the Rewind Theater for IGN that they did for the actual trailer, they actually said that he might have made an appearance, and there was a little Easter egg for Doctor Doom that was in there, so we never really have seen him, but I really do believe that the person talking in that trailer is Doctor Doom. So I can't really say any sort of thoughts. I do hope that he looks a little more traditional. He's a little bit more menacing than what the Doctor Doom was in the last 2 Fantastic Four movies. I felt that one was a little bit much more tongue in cheek and a little bit more silly. Not really worthy of the name Doom. Yeah. Needs to get some more Doom in there rather than less Tom and Jerry, more Doom.
Tom and Jerry.
I'm serious. It was one of those cynical and sarcastic types of Doctor Dooms. The guy that you find being in cosplay at Comic-Con as Doctor Doom. That I don't want that. I want some more Doom. I want the guy to give you a look and you're like, ooh, let me not mess with this dude.
Scary, basically.
Yeah, I want him to have power and such. Well, yeah. Thank you, Matt, for the question there. Now let's go to some comments. Okay, right. We actually got a comment over here from Mr. Kennedy on was it episode 8 of the podcast. He goes, "This is a good podcast."
Oh, thank you.
No, thank you. That's awesome. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty sweet. So we also got a comment here from Mr. MK1982, one of the mods on my IGN. He's been writing to us a lot, which is cool. Okay, he goes, since you're checking out Monster Hunter 4, you may be able to help me with some advice. I pre-ordered the game, and this is my first proper Monster Hunter outing. Should I buy a 3DS Circle Pad Pro to play Monster Hunter with or not? I wonder if you could recommend it for a newcomer than simply using the standard control system. Sadly, I won't be upgrading to the new 3DS anytime soon, so that isn't an option.
Okay.
Now, I can't comment on Monster Hunter 4, but I will say, based off of past Monster Hunter experiences, being Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, I will say that I believe that the Circle Pad Pro is definitely helpful, especially if you have the older 3DS. I think that it's good because obviously the camera movement, and also the 3DS Circle Pad Pro, you'll be able to use it for other games here and there. Not a lot of the more modern games, you can't use it for Smash Brothers, although it would be ideal to do so as a C-stick option, kind of like on the GameCube. But definitely, I suggest you could pick it up because it may help you out a little bit rather than using the actual D-pad to control the camera.
Right. Yeah, and I believe you can click L if you're running and you're shifting and you don't have.
Yeah, to lock the camera.
Yeah, you can do that too. I know the new 3DS is set up to kind of work as a circle pad, so ideally you want a circle pad if you're not upgrading. You'll be fine if you have a circle pad.
Definitely.
It sucks using your finger when you're playing Monster Hunter on the touchpad.
The hook method. Oh god, I cannot stand the hook method. When I used to play Monster Hunter back on was it the PSP when it was Monster Hunter Freedom Unite and such a Monster Hunter Freedom 1 and 2. But that hook method was so annoying to have, man. It was such a pain in the butt. Oh man, you have no idea. So let's move on. Again, we also got another comment from Mr. Ryan Palmer over here. Ryan over there taking storm on the comment section. He goes, "Good conversation. Someone needs to change the battery in their smoke alarm." By the way,
I think that's mine.
Man, that's my fault. Over here, the crazy alarm over here, because much like my dog, who is also probably an alarm in of herself. And such like that, but yeah, thanks for the comment, Ryan.
That happened to me today, actually. I heard a beep, and I was literally searching for it for 30 minutes, and I changed it out. You have it upstairs and downstairs, and you're trying to find it. It's just it's so annoying.
It's hilarious, man. So then we also got some stuff from Twitter.
Awesome.
Yeah, we got some stuff on Twitter. We got Mr. Caleb Now, who likes to write into us a lot, too. Thanks a lot, Caleb. He comes out, he goes, "There haven't been any iTunes episodes lately. Are you guys still up on iTunes?" And like we mentioned earlier in the podcast, yes, we're definitely up on iTunes. Again, we got it back working a better solution now, which is cool.
And a big thank you to David Quigley, who's
definitely
helping us out with that a lot. So a big shout out to him. Definitely couldn't make this kind of thing happen without your help. So,
he's been helping us make the bacon. So, helping us find out some great solutions and great, ways to go about actually keeping the podcast up on iTunes. You're definitely, if you're not already listening to this on iTunes and you're listening to the video version of it, you'll definitely see this up on iTunes if you go and you subscribe to us on there. You could also rate us. It also helps a lot if you rate us and you subscribe, because obviously we want to get the podcast out there for everybody. And tell your friends, for God's sakes, talk about us on Twitter. Send us a tweet. Send us an email. Let your friends know to do the same, so that way we can keep getting great comments and great questions from you guys. To read on the actual on the podcast. And also, we're giving away stuff. And there's an alarm over here. That, for the record, just for the record, that's outside. Okay. I'm pretty sure most of you guys have the same problem. I know it's hilarious.
This is what I love about this podcast, is that there's so much randomness going on, right? I was listening to a past episode, and I heard someone close a door, and it sounded like a squeak, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder if someone's playing the original Resident Evil, because you hear right? Doors closing. And personally,
for that moment, or at least for those of us right there, I think it's the Shield Brigade coming over here trying to actually find out about you not watching those Marvel movies. That's what I think it is.
Let us know, guys. We can definitely use the feedback, and we want to hear your guys' thoughts on the podcast, so please continue to send us an email at allstarpod at hotmail.com. Send us individual tweets. I'm at Pete_Lopez with a 0, and Jake James, you're at?
I'm at VenomousFatman1 on Twitter. That's at VenomousFatman and the number 1.
Yeah, so definitely let us know, guys. We appreciate the listens, we appreciate the subscribes and the downloads, so please continue to do that, and we'll continue to have fun and have shenanigans in the background.
Definitely. And also give away some. You gave away a game last episode, which is great.
Yeah, I actually wanted to download. I wanted to give out a download code, but at this time I'm unfortunately not prepared. So definitely follow us on Twitter. Like I said, we're at at AllStarPod, and I'm just going to submit it through that. So give us a follow. That way you can check out the code and the game, and let us know. Let us know if you guys got it.
Definitely. So with all of that, we come to the end of this episode. Any final thoughts, Pete? Any final cool things you want to tell the listeners?
Just definitely check out, IGN for all the great stuff. If you guys want to be all-stars, all you have to do is go to the blog section and submit an application through there. Note that not everybody is selected to be an IGN All-Star, but an IGN All-Star is basically a really active community member. And you can chat with us through the IGN All-Star boards. Definitely check out the boards, and definitely check out shameless plug time.
Shameless plug time.
Check out my work at purenintendo.com, and definitely check out JJ's material, which is fantastic, at thecoalition.com as well.
Thank you. Very true. We got a lot of good stuff all over the place. And also, for the record, guys, because we know you've been asking, we're definitely looking into having some all-stars on the podcast with us. Right. Such like that. We're trying to figure out the best way to go about it, because we also want to make sure that, obviously, we keep bringing you guys the best content we can, because we hold it up to a standard.
Right.
Which is the all-star standard, which is the awesome standard.
To be fair, we did reach out to several all-stars, and we haven't heard back yet. So we are being proactive, and we are searching out. So if you're listening to this, make sure you answer your messages. Booyah!
Yeah. Check your emails. Check your tweets. But, check your back doors. That does not sound right whatsoever. Okay, rewind that. Okay.
That's what makes this podcast.
Definitely. Well, that being said, thank you guys for listening to the IGN All-Star Community Podcast, episode 9. Hope you guys had a blast listening to it. I know we had a blast making it
already. Could you believe that? Like, wow.
We're gonna have to call the next episode X, because we're gonna be cool like that. It's gonna be all Mortal Kombat all the time.
Mega Man X.
And Mega Man. Oh yeah, Mega Man X. Oh heck yeah. That's what, you know what? I'm gonna germinate some ideas about this. Okay, I'm gonna make this real nice.
Making it happen.
But definitely making it happen. So we'll talk to you guys again real soon. Till the next episode, guys. We hope you guys enjoy this. Peace out and stay epic, everybody.
Peace.